actors, all of them was great. I mean, they did our thing, and I mean, they really studied us, and you know, they got all our mannerism, everything. You know, sometimes when you're looking at the movie, you forget them as actors up there. We even forget, you know, like, wait a minute, is that us? Then we had to wake up for a second.
DJ Yella, man, thank you for your time. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Press day is good?
Yeah,
So far?
yeah, just starting. Yesterday was a long one, but you know, it's what we do.
Yeah. We got to see the movie yesterday. And
did you really?
Yeah, in the Chinese theater.
How you like it?
It was very good. It was actually the second time I saw it. I saw it back in Germany. They showed it once.
Oh, okay.
And, I have to say the movie's very authentic. It exposes a lot that we didn't know about N.W.A,
Really?
which you don't think before you go into the movie. Because, you know, N.W.A is a thing.
Yeah.
You think you know everything about it. Was there any point in the production or when you consulted them, was there any point where you thought, well, this might maybe harm the legacy of N.W.A, maybe we shouldn't put that in the movie?
No, not really. I mean, because we were so detailed on the movies about, you know, what we wear, what kind of cars we was driving. You know, we try to be really detailed. And a lot got shot, but a lot got cut out too. But this is like the cream of the crop, and it stayed in. And I mean, the movie looks great. It looks better than I thought it would look. You know, the actors, all of them was great. I mean, they did our thing, and I mean, they really studied us, and you know, they got all our mannerism, everything. You know, sometimes when you're looking at the movie, you forget them as actors up there. We even forget, you know, like, wait a minute, is that us? Then we had to wake up for a second. But it's great.
As I said, man, the movie exposed a lot, which made the movie very special. It had very many emotional situations of the characters. Was there any point where you thought, where it was a little hard for you to let go of the privacy of a certain situation for the sake of the movie?
No, not really. I mean, besides the hospital scene, you know,
right.
It's like, okay, people want to know, they want to see what really happened. That was a real private thing, but you know, I'd rather for the fans to see it and stuff. You know, the movie was made for the fans. You know, the diehard ones, the new ones. You know, to see what this is. What it ain't just a story about some rappers from rags to riches. No, we had to go through steps and struggles and all kind of things. But I would say the hospital was the most private part right there.
Did you talk to the actor beforehand about the hospital scene?
No, actually, I when I got to the set, they was already doing it. I was like, what scene is this? And I'm like, I didn't stay there too long that day. It was just like,
too emotional?
Yeah, it was I was like, that's enough. I'm gone.
But that means the movie hit it right on.
Oh yeah. I mean, they hit it. I mean, hit it on the nail. Just like, oof. I mean, even the actors when they was doing it, you couldn't even talk to them or nothing because they had to stay in that character in that sad mode. You know, I'm not an actor, but how they get into it, and you could not talk to them for a couple of hours. So that was like they was really emotional about that scene too.
Perfect, man. You as a consultant, do you remember a situation where you kind of like read the script, or you were like, me as a consultant, wait, hold up, I remember this situation wasn't like this, it was like this and that?
Well, some of the stuff, like in the movie, the timeline is right.
Yeah.
Almost everything right, but a couple of characters might have been moved up, made them come in a little earlier, or compacted all these three things into one. That's the only thing, because it's so much. You're trying to put 10 years into 2 hours. So we had to juggle it a little bit, but the story is right, though.
Of course. To be on set in Compton, you shot part of the movie actually in Compton. Honestly, how long have you been in Compton beforehand, before the shoot?
I go there every once in a while. I still have friends and family that I grew up, all my life. So I'm there all the time.
Great.
I can drive through any time of the day.
I imagine it might be weird after all those years to go back to the places. Maybe because on the one hand it had changed too much, or maybe on the other hand it hasn't changed at all.
It hasn't, tell you the truth, it hasn't changed at all. It looks the same. I mean, the scenery might have changed a little bit. Even since the riots and all that. Some of the buildings are still burned down, but it's the same. It just, they haven't found a solution to fix it. When they do, it's going to be much better, you know. But all the ghettos, it ain't just Compton. Well, we only rapped about Compton, but all the ghettos is the same everywhere. Germany, it doesn't matter where they are.
Yeah.
Ghetto is ghetto.
That's right. You don't want to live there. How many times in the movie did someone tell you, man, you won't make it, in 20 years you're going to think of me? How many times, man? I just had to laugh because look at all those people in N.W.A.
Yeah, that was a good part. I mean, that part, they emphasized on that. Like, in 20 years, you're not going to be nothing. And it's just so funny. Because me and Dre came from the wrecking crew, and we made him look better than he was.
Did you ever get the chance to talk to Lonzo after all those things, after you blew up?
Yeah. I mean, I see him every once in a while.
Okay.
You know, I never made a nickel. Me and Dre never made one nickel from that group. But when we see him, you know, we talk like, you know, nothing ever happened. So, you know, it's old news and stuff. So I don't have a grudge. I ain't mad at nobody.
When you think about all those people, Easy, Dre, and Cube, reconciliating to get back together for N.W.A., what kind of music and what kind of political image would N.W.A. portray after so many years? Let's just imagine Easy was alive today and N.W.A. was still together today. Mm-hmm. What would they represent?
I think we still be doing the same thing, talking about what we want to talk about what we know about. You know, we wouldn't be going into the political game, you know. Well, we weren't politicians.
Yeah.
You know, we know what we grew up around, what's in the ghetto. It'll be a little different, but it'll still be somewhat the same. It'll be still somewhat the same.
Have you heard any of the material that Dre is supposedly about to drop today?
I've heard a few tracks.
Okay.
This was a few months ago.
Yeah.
And they was Dre, you know. They hitting, you know, so the public is waiting, so, you know, we ain't gonna speak on that.
Was that a realistic direction for, let's say, maybe an N.W.A. sound that could have taken place today? Somewhat in the direction where you know,
maybe,
you're okay with
you know,
it?
because, you know, we, you know, just like from the straight Outta Compton to the second album, you know, our music changed. So 10, 20 years later, it would have changed again, but it would still been that hard, raw sound. So, yeah, it could be the direction.
All right, man. I thank you for your time.
Oh, no
Appreciate
problem.
you took your time.